you don't know the legislation that's coming. It's going to be so bad. Now, the whole reason I'm finally breaking down and doing a video is because, just like you've heard, the physicians get practice updates from the boards of medicine. All the healthcare practitioners that are licensed professions get practice updates as well. And we've been getting Board of Pharmacy updates, every couple weeks or every month or whatever. And we just got another one last night, and it just is absolutely horrific. It is really horrific what's coming. And anybody who's getting practice updates, you need to read into them and use those as a gauge to really think about what's coming. Don't just listen to whatever practice guidelines they're sending you, because all the people that were put on ventilators and had their lungs blown out, they weren't COVID deaths. They had broken arms, they had bronchitis, they had anything. And you already know, the people who are watching this video, that the doctors were told that they need to put COVID-19 as a cause of death. And if they were tested and they were negative, they still had to list them as a comorbid cause of death. It's just ridiculous. The lies are ridiculous. And it's all to bump the numbers up so that people will believe there's a problem. And the reason why they want everyone to wear masks is so that we all reinforce the image that there's a big problem, so that people will believe there's a problem. Now, let me just tell you something. Okay, the newest thing that they're doing with pharmacy, don't know why we didn't hear about this, why we didn't have any input, go up to Tallahassee, whatever, but it's already done. So now they've made pharmacists limited practitioners under protocol for specific conditions. Now, given the big problems, the typical problems that we have, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, hypertension, and, the doctors are swamped with that. Hence, we've got the advanced nurse practitioners that work under protocols, work under physicians, PAs that work under protocol, under physicians, to help alleviate the bulk of their patient load for some of the things that they can triage and prescribe. So, wouldn't it be weird if they just implemented, now pharmacists are going to be under protocol with physicians for what disease states or what conditions would make sense? Well, given what's going on now, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you that it's going to involve COVID and influenza-related vaccinations, issues, and testing. That shouldn't surprise you. But what really got me was, instead of hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, anything normal, what they've put in place are things that you would predominantly see in a population after there has been a complete destruction in an environment, in a community, in a state, in a country. They wouldn't go out of their way to get a law passed and specifically name these 4 things unless they knew that these 4 things were going to soon be an issue. I hope you understand what I'm going to say, because I can't tell my family, just like with the Mandela effect stuff, they can't hear me. They're going around wearing masks, and I try to tell them anything. They cannot hear a word I say. And it is just, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I am absolutely exhausted from the sheer everything that I got to deal with here. It's too much. So what are they putting in place under protocol? Well, one of them are lice, treatment for lice, and skin infections, and streptococcus, and of course, the influenza and the other COVID bullshit. Now, why wouldn't we be seeing treating these other chronic health conditions that are such a cost burden? You can treat lice over the counter. So what's up with the lice and the skin infections? It's because they know they're bringing, or they know what's coming, and there's going to be grid down people in packed quarters, rampant lice, rampant skin infections, rampant filth everywhere. This is coming. This is coming. And to begin with, I don't understand, if they're saying, the recovery rate is almost 100%, well then why the hell do we even need a vaccine? Why does anybody need a vaccine? Why do they need to invest billions of dollars on this whole new legal and infrastructure, medical, everything that they're doing for this? Now, I'll tell you, when this was a epidemic, before it was even a pandemic, and I went to do some CE online within 1 month of it being declared epidemic, not pandemic. One of these CE modules was for state-specific COVID laws. Yeah, that's a little too quick to be getting CE out to the clearinghouses. It's got to pass certain things. You got to meet. Yeah, it's just whoever's in control of every step of this is just it's just unreal what I'm seeing. And then the president tries to tell everybody, about the hydroxychloroquine, and the next thing you know, there are mandates, and I'm talking globally, and penalties for physicians not to prescribe this, pharmacists not to prescribe this, within like 7 days of him making the announcement, and getting flooded with phone calls myself at the pharmacy from physicians all over the country who were calling, had hired people to call every single pharmacy they could in whatever state they could try to find hydroxychloroquine, so that they could, buy it for their family members, for themselves, for their friends, whoever. And that quick, and I'm talking globally, and I know it wasn't just U.S. efforts, because like a lot of other people, I know of some online pharmacies that don't require prescriptions for non-controls, and had sent to get an order for myself, 60 tablets, and had to read this whole long disclosure, and it was listed for different countries, for different things, different rules, it's just, that quick. There's a reason why President Trump and a lot of other people, including Fauci when he's not on camera, are not wearing a mask. They're trying to tell you something without coming right out and telling you, and people are not listening. I have so many people that walk up to the pharmacy, before they could find a mask to buy anywhere, that were putting bras across their face, underwear across their face. These people, these evil, elite, other species that are here now in the end days, are just laughing their ass off at the submission that they're getting these people to undergo. It's absolutely horrific. And for nothing. There's nothing out there. Now, for those people who are gonna, come back and charge, oh, my brother died of this, my mother died of this, you know what? I'm telling you, you don't know what you're talking about, and they didn't die of COVID. What's going on out there, if you remember, okay, for any healthcare professionals who are out there, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Ever since the beginning of time, every textbook that's been written, yeah, that's great. Every textbook that's been written for any allied healthcare school knows, like the ABCs, that the number of, average influenza cases in the U.S. is 36,000 people. we know that number like the back of our hand. Every one of us does, because that's the number it's been every single year until we hit 2018, 2019, and then all of a sudden we saw a spike up to 80,000 cases of influenza. And they weren't talking about anything on the news about it other than, oh, it's a little bit of a difficult, more difficult year, or, that the vaccine strain didn't match up with what was, circulating around. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter if it matches up or not. The average number every year is 36,000. So now it's 80,000 in 2018, 2019. So what you're seeing out there is a combination of a few different things. One, people don't remember from day to day nothing, but if you'll think back to the flu season, 2018, 2019, I had so many people coming into the pharmacy with coughs that were lasting, 2 months or longer, just really, really sick, wanting to know what they could do. Well, they got those antibodies from whatever that strain of influenza virus was, coronavirus was, whatever it was. And now when they're doing testing, what you're finding positive, and they'll freely tell you if you just look in the clinical literature, that if you've had a flu shot or a quadrivalent shot or, past coronavirus strain, influenza strain, there's the likelihood you're going to show up positive. I guarantee you we're all positive. From whatever was going around 2018, 2019, when everybody was getting real sick. So you need to not be going in those lines and getting tested for COVID. Again, listen to the president and understand why he's telling people don't do it and why he wants to limit the testing, because he knows what's going on. He's trying to tell people and people aren't listening. There have been videos that have been taken down, but tons of people have seen, have, redistributed of nurses who were getting suspect and made up a bunch of, fake names, turned in the tests, and they were all positive. Well, why is it that people can't seem to understand that, they're saying you can't get COVID at Walmart and Target, but you're going to get COVID if you go to a barber or, go to a restaurant and eat a meal. They're bankrupting small business owners. Why can't people see this? And if everybody doesn't start not doing what they're saying, this thing is going to start spiraling a lot faster than it already is, which I'm already surprised at how quickly this is spiraling. And I try to tell people whenever I get a chance at the pharmacy that this is literally the biggest power grab in history that's taking place. And 90% of the people, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, and I can tell by the comments that they come back with, that they still don't get it. Well, I'm just wearing the mask because my immune system is, deficient or whatever, or their family members are and they're doing it for them, and they don't hear me. It's just as crazy as, when the Mandela effect was here and I couldn't get through my family members and 95% of the people around me. This is the same thing. Nobody can hear me. And it's really, really frustrating, on top of everything, because people aren't standing up. They're people who do know, they see people being pitted against each other, the mask group versus the unwearing mask group. They're, making people turn each other in, the contact tracings and the software that's in place, and the structure for the whole system that's going to be in place. It's just going to be just so evil, and the people that are doing it and turning people in, and just everything. It's just so evil. Everything is so evil. Our pharmacy's own driver, our Cardinal pharmaceutical driver, came in the other day to let me know, asked for my number, if I could be a reference for him, because he had just gotten fired. Why? Because a district manager at CVS called his company and complained that he wasn't wearing a mask, and they fired him. Now, this is a young 30-something male with a family, just bought a truck to do his deliveries. That was his livelihood, gone for nothing, for a lie. And I freaking hate CVS more than any pharmacy. I can't even begin to tell you. Talk about New World, Amazon. Well, CVS is in there too, and they've now monopoly with everything. Anyway, I don't even want to get into that. But I'm really upset that driver got fired. I'm just really upset with so many things. Really, I've kind of just been too dumbfounded that so many people are believing the narrative and following orders and doing everything. I'm really having a hard time believing when people know themselves, even, lay people, not even healthcare professionals, that, a piece of cloth, not an N95 mask, is not going to stop viral particles. So why the hell does everybody need to wear a mask, and why is it being mandated? And, there's just so much out there. I'm not dealing real well with everything. Now, all the healthcare professionals out there, it doesn't matter, what you are, a nurse, PA, physician, anybody, the differences between masks. And even if you believed the narrative and, believed in this virus that's out there, that these masks don't stop the particles. So why aren't you saying something? Why isn't everybody standing up, speaking out? I don't understand this. When I talk to my nurse practitioner friends, physicians, the ones that don't see what's going on, they'll give me an answer like, well, in all the guidelines that we were sent and the information we were sent, people that were on CPAP machines, they were putting respiratory droplets, aerosolized droplets out there, and that was going to cause more infection. So that's why they needed to be put on ventilators and all this. So there have been people in full out code, and nobody is responding to them, and they're just letting them die. No family members allowed. God forbid if anybody has to go to the hospital right now, if they've got any underlying conditions, health problems, they're not going to come out of there, and this is just the way it is. So, I don't know. I just don't understand how people, if you tell them, they still can't hear you. It's just like the Mandela effect. It's the crazy. But anyway, my point is, don't take this very special vaccine that's coming out. Do not get tested. Stay as far away from anything as you can related to that. It's going to be really, really bad. It's going to be so much worse than people think, and it's just disgusting. Just disgusting. So anyway, that's why I said in my last video, I really can't do this anymore, and to pray for me. Not that I'm going to off myself or anything. It's just that I can't be a pharmacist anymore, and I know what's coming, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I have no idea where to go, what to do. I can't be a part of the evil that's being unleashed on the people, and the frustration that you can't even tell people. A lot of people are gonna think, well, yeah, what's the big deal? You make a lot of money as a pharmacist. Well, let me tell you, I have no money. I have no money. When I woke up here 5 years ago in Mandela Parallel Wonderland and had to start completely over, had to leave my husband, leave my family, because they are not, I don't want to get into that all again. But no. So I still have student loans, about $40,000 left, and nothing. And I can't continue to work as a pharmacist because I know it's coming, and I will not have any part of that. I will not have any part of that. I know better by now. So it's really kind of been a bad situation all around. A lot of people say, well, just go into some other field of pharmacy. Well, it doesn't work like that. I'm too old now to be hired by anyone, especially without 2 residencies and, a board certification, at least of some kind. It's not going to happen. So I'm strongly thinking about going to Tennessee, and even got the, board application and NABP forms, which, everything there is like $1,000. But now I'm finding that I really can't even concentrate and focus well enough to even be able to take another state's board to go practice there. If I could even find like some independent pharmacy where I wouldn't have to give immunizations, and maybe could find somebody like-minded, who knows. But I can't even do that because I can't even focus well enough to study because there's just so much going on. And I'm not trying to say that I'm so over worried, or I'm too worried about other things instead of being grounded, in God and Jesus and all that. It's not that, because I am. It's just, everybody's here to play a part, whatever that's going to be. And a lot of people are slowly getting into that. It's really difficult, more difficult for some than others. But I just don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. But if people are trying to warn you, people around you are, trying to tell you that this, something's fishy, this isn't what it seems out there, please listen to them, because this is quickly spiraling into chaos, and, you don't know what's happening. And you can't just take everything at face value. There's just so much bad going on right now. And I just wanted to put it out there too. If anybody does know of any, end day, true believer Mandela communities that are out there, that people are moving to or can migrate to or whatever to be part of a group, please let me know. If there's any, just really super deep, not just prepper, atheist groups, whatever, but really, know what the Holy Spirit and know what it really means to be born again, true believers. Know of anybody, that wants to fellowship, or, that know of community somewhere, just please let me know, because this is really too much to do alone, and it's just too much to do alone, and I just don't know what to do. But anyway, just wanted to put all this out there. If people can't see that there's a problem, that the Federal Reserve isn't even making, coin currency anymore. God help people. How are you going to tell them anything? How are you going to wake them up? They'll go Google something and they'll believe the first story they come across. Oh, well, we stopped doing it to protect our employees from the COVID. Bullshit. They closed 2 plants, 2 mints before there was any pandemic out in San Francisco and West Point. So people are just too gullible, and they I can't deal with it. So yeah, anyway, I hope to do some other videos, because there's a few other things I want to talk about, Mandela effect related, biblically and time related stuff. So hopefully I can freaking get out of bed to do that, or get motivated enough to do that, because I can't do anything anymore, and it's killing me. But God bless everyone. Try to stay safe. Try to spiritually prepare and physically prepare as best you can. We don't know how long we have, but we know it's coming soon, and we know what's coming. Hope to be in touch with you soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.